The zombie apocalypse has arrived, but one guy is thrilled because zombies are helping him realize his dream. Interested? Then dive into our review. A young man in a business suit is running as fast as he can from a horde of zombies. He's worried they might make him late for work, but let's rewind a year. The main character of this story is named Tendo Akira. He's a very hardworking and polite guy. He landed his first job and happily rushed to his new office. Among his colleagues, Tendo noticed a pretty girl named Otori. After work, all the employees gathered at the bar. Tendo meets his colleagues and his boss, Kasagi. He informs him that he must work all night and complete a ton of different tasks. The next day, the story repeats itself. The guy returns home and can barely stand. Every day, his workload increases. He literally lives in the office. One evening, Tendo meets his best friend, Kensho, at a bar and complains about his hard work. Unfortunately, the friend's conversation soon devolves into a fight. At work, Otori treats the tired Tendo to some juice, but 5 minutes later, he's immediately scolded by his boss. Unfortunately, the guy doesn't have the courage to leave the company. After all, finding a new job in Japan is incredibly difficult. This goes on day after day. Tendo is so exhausted he's even ready to jump in front of a train. His house is turning into a dump. One morning, he leaves the house and discovers that his neighbor has turned into a zombie. Tendo tries to escape, but with each passing minute, more and more monsters pursue him. Tendo sees the city in utter chaos. He realizes he doesn't have to go to work today and is overjoyed. So, it's the first day of the zombie apocalypse. Tendo finally realizes he hasn't had a day off all year and immediately remembers Otori. Meanwhile, a pregnant woman is watching the zombie news. Her husband tries to calm her down. Then a cheerful Tendo appears at their window. He says he's going to the store and is ready to bring some groceries to the neighbors. The boy gets on his bike and rides through the crowd of zombies. They run pretty fast, though, so he has to pedal harder. He finds Otori's house and enters her apartment. Inside, everything is scattered, but the girl is alive and appears normal. However, a zombie in a robe is wandering around her house, and our hero recognizes him as the company's CEO. To save the girl, Tendo lunges at the zombie, rips off his wig, but is immediately knocked into the wall by a powerful blow. Then the guy lunges at the zombie again, and they both fall. Otori hits the zombie on the head and scolds him for not leaving his wife for her. It turns out they were lovers. Real drama. But that's not the end. The boss managed to bite the girl, and now she too turns into a zombie and, of course, attacks Tendo. The boy fights off Otori with a pillow, then confesses to the girl that he loved her and runs away from her house. He returns to his neighbors with groceries, but it seems too late. Tendo is very upset, but he realizes that he wants to live on, not become zombie fodder. A boy writes a list of 100 things he's always dreamed of accomplishing. It's the second day of the zombie apocalypse. Tendo cleans out his house and throws out a mountain of junk. He goes to the supermarket and picks up a bunch of different groceries. He has to run away from zombie salespeople, but no big deal. Tendo dyes his hair different colors, but eventually returns to his natural color. He paints a huge portrait of himself on a skyscraper and once again flees from a horde of hungry zombies. To speed up, Tendo trades his bicycle for a powerful motorcycle. In the evening, the boy launches vibrant fireworks into the sky, and the next day, he hosts a barbecue right on the street. Unfortunately, he's out of sauces and has to go to the supermarket to get some. There, a stranger in a helmet attacks him, brandishing a stick. Realizing Tendo isn't a zombie, the stranger takes off his helmet. She's a real, living girl, and a very pretty one at that. Her name is Shizuka. Someone is begging for help on the street, and our hero runs there to save another living person from zombies. Shizuka helps him and easily defeats the zombies. It seems she's a real monster hunter. The girl rides off on a bicycle, and our hero returns home. There, he finally remembers his best friend, Kensho, and calls him. Kensho confesses that he's stuck in an adult hotel and surrounded by zombies. Tendo decides to save his friend. He races on his motorcycle, trying to avoid the crowd of zombies, and by evening he finds the right hotel. But there are too many zombies. Tendo notices that they react to sound and throws a music speaker into the crowd. The zombies immediately rush towards her, and our hero charges forward like a sportsman, scattering opponents in all directions and deftly dodging their teeth. Tendo finds Kensho at the hotel, and the two friends climb onto the roof, then sneak into a nearby bar and have a wonderful dinner to celebrate their victory. Kensho reads his friend's to-do list and declares him a true hero. Then Tendo adds another wish to become Superman or Spider-Man. Kensho watches the news and learns that Tokyo is on the brink of a humanitarian catastrophe. Tendo suggests his friend go to the aquarium and get some shark-proof diving suits. These zombie costumes definitely won't penetrate. But first, the guys need to get new groceries. While trying to break into the supermarket, they spot a crowd of living people being attacked by zombies. The boy spots Shizuka among them. She skillfully fights off the zombies and hides in the supermarket with our heroes. The taxi driver and his two passengers also manage to sneak in. They all decide to go to the aquarium because it's the safest place. The taxi driver notices a zombie bite wound on his arm, while his passengers are drinking strong alcohol. The boys join them. Having gotten drunk, the girls start hitting on Kensho, and soon the three of them leave. Then Shizuka joins Tendo. She bandages the scratch on his arm. Suddenly, the taxi driver turns into a zombie behind them. He pursues our heroes. Meanwhile, his passengers try on stewardess costumes and entertain Kensho. Unfortunately, a zombie taxi driver appears behind them. He bites first one girl, then the other. A frightened Kensho runs away, and the zombies chase him. Tendo distracts the monster with music and saves his friend again. Meanwhile, Shizuka tries to escape the store, but is caught by the zombie passengers. She fights them off, and Tendo and Kensho set off fireworks to distract the monsters. The three of them escape the store, spot a camper van on the street, and climb inside. Luckily, the car has keys, and our heroes manage to escape the zombies. Now the three of them are heading to the aquarium. But on the way, our heroes want to stop at a hot springs and have a shot of sake. It's the 7th day of the zombie apocalypse. Kensho dyes his hair blonde, and Shizuka feeds stray dogs. Soon our heroes find themselves in a lake and try surfing for the first time in their lives. Admittedly, it's more like yoga. They also hang glid, and Tendo crosses another wish off his list. That evening, our heroes dine on ramen and light sparklers. They finally reach the hot springs, but they're already occupied by zombies. Tendo and his friends sit away from them and enjoy a wonderful rest. Soon, our heroes almost reach the aquarium, but their van skids on the road, and they crash. It turns out the highway was lined with sharp spikes and nails. Tendo wakes up to the screams of his boss, Kasugi. Could it all have been just a dream? But no. The boss takes him to the aquarium and shows him the local shelter. There, the boy sees his neighbors, whom he thought were dead, and his colleagues with their work. It seems Kasugi has set up his new business here and is now demanding that Tendo, Kensho, and Shizuki join them and work 24/7. The man shows the boy the local security force. It's a crowd of hungry zombies who protect the shelter from criminals and robbers. Kasugi demands Tendo become his assistant. While Kensho, Shizuka, and the other workers eat the simplest and cheapest food, Kasugi enjoys delicacies, and our hero works as his waiter. Tendo's former neighbor tries to get Kensho and Shizuka out of this prison. He offers the kids the chance to take any car and escape. Meanwhile, a zombie enters the aquarium and bites one of the workers. Taking advantage of the panic, a horde of zombies escapes from their cage and breaks into the shelter. Pure chaos and madness ensues. Kensho and Shizuka find Tendo and offer him an escape with them, but he refuses. The girl enters the van and sees his list of unfinished business on the table. She returns to the aquarium and again asks the boy to leave with them. After all, he'll definitely turn into a zombie here. Tendo recalls all the happy moments of his life, while Kasugi tramples on his to-do list with his boot. Our hero nudges his boss, picks up his list, and declares his resignation. At that moment, a horde of zombies bursts into the room. People scatter in all directions, and Tendo rescues two of his former colleagues. The humans manage to hide in one of the rooms and lock the door. They run further and find themselves in the part of the aquarium where the sharks live. The toothy predator immediately dines on one of the sharks. But this isn't just any shark, it's a zombie shark, one with legs. The hysterical humans try to escape and hide in a small warehouse. Tendo notices that Kasugi isn't among the people and decides to help his vile boss. He dons a shark-proof diving suit and heroically rescues Kasuga. While the boss escapes, the shark attacks our hero. But loyal Kensho rushes to the rescue and rams the zombie shark with a forklift. Tendo runs to save Kasuga again, this time from a horde of hungry zombies. The boss hides, and the zombies try to bite our hero. It's a good thing he has a protective superhero suit. Shizuka appears and distracts the monsters with music. She runs with megaphones in her hands and throws them into the water. The monsters immediately rush after them and find themselves trapped. Kensho runs up and boasts that the shark chased him and got stuck in a rock, meaning it won't eat anyone else. Kasuga appears, celebrating his victory, but suddenly the shark breaks through the rock and attacks him. Tendo engages the monster in battle. Meanwhile, Shizuka takes a couple of batteries and makes something like a conductor. She wants to shock the shark. Kensho takes the batteries and tosses them to Tendo. They need to be pressed against the shark's nose, and our hero does so. The zombie shark is electrocuted and falls to the ground. Tendo runs to his friend and sees that he's perfectly fine. The people are saved. All the residents of the oceanarium are packing up and packing boxes of food into their cars. Tendo, Kensho, and Shizuka are also leaving in their van. Our hero invites his friends to add new things to his list. Now it's their shared list and shared adventure. Like it if you're a zombie. Let's see how many of you there are. See you.